So let's start the new year with more souvenir programs here. And held by legends, signed by heroes. We'll do an episode of that. And we'll take a look at Gramps' photo here. Shouldn't say photo, his drawing. That I said I was going to fix it. Put it in some Mylar. And I did that. Got this all flattened out there. Make it a little more legible. And I won't be so emotional when talking about it. And if you want to freeze and watch and read, great. So let's start the new year with a true legend. You've heard these words before, and I think I can say them without it being called plagiarism. He was called the Heater from Van Meter, Rapid Robert, or Bullet Bob. I'll just call him Bob. A teenage legend at the age of 16, Bob and his dad signed a contract with the Cleveland Indians for a bonus of $1 and a signed team ball, a team he would play for his entire MLB career, spanning parts of 3 decades and never once going down to the minors. So Bob just finished his junior year of high school and is now on his way to Cleveland to join the club. He is finally picked to start in his first big league game on August 23, 1936, and Bob Feller gets the win. When I was growing up, most teenagers got to goof off during summer vacation. I did, until I didn't. In 1979, I was 15 years old. I lied about my age and got a job as a busboy in a coffee shop. I know it's different than lying about your age so you can join the military. I lied to make some money, completely different than lying so you can serve your country during wartime. Getting paid was great, but getting tips every time I worked was even better, even though it was only coins. So in the old days, the 1930s and 40s, times were tough. Most 16-year-olds were trying to, or were told to, make some money during the summer vacation. If you're lucky back then, you got a job bagging groceries in the town market, but usually it was something labor-intensive. So while you're stacking cans of Garbanzo beans and bagging groceries, or worse, digging out Old Man Johnson's oak tree stump, your classmate Bob Feller is pitching a no-hitter while striking out 15 batters, and probably having chocolate cake and New York steak for every meal. Then a few weeks later, with the baseball season over, Bob went home to start his senior year of high school, which I can only imagine was pretty nice. And to top off his senior year, his high school graduation ceremony was broadcast on radio to the entire nation. In 1936, the teenager who was called the Wonder Boy was on the cover of TIME Magazine, only the second baseball player chosen for that honor. So you go from that to being called the Flop of the Year in 1937 by the Associated Press. Yet, the Indians still made Bob Feller one of the highest paid players in MLB that season. And in his 1938 contract, he was guaranteed $1,000 for every win after his 20th victory. Those kind of personal performance bonuses are no longer allowed. For years during the off-season, he would organize barnstorming tours with black and white players traveling the country playing ball in towns that didn't get to see big league players. Mr. Bob Feller served 44 months in the military and is a true American hero and was awarded 8 battle stars. When he got back stateside in 1946, he was offered $100,000 by a Mexican millionaire to play 1 season in Mexico. But Bob had been away from home for so long fighting overseas in the war and said he didn't want to play chili con carne ball and instead chose to re-sign with Cleveland Indians and their new owner, Sport Shirt Bill Veeck. That contract was reported to be the largest ever in sports history, even surpassing Babe Ruth's contract. Only 2 pitchers in MLB history have thrown more no-hitters than Bob Feller, and he is the youngest pitcher to win 20 games, and to this day is the only pitcher in MLB history to throw a no-hitter on opening day. So, at the end of my season 2, I showed you a Bob Lemon autograph that my dad got at a 1955 spring training game. Same time he acquired this Bob Feller autograph you're looking at now. And I told you about how Bob Lemon beamed his mom by accident while they were practicing his curveball at home in their driveway. Well, here's a story about a mom who probably wished she watched the game from the safety of her comfy couch at home on this day instead of going to the ballpark to watch her son. So this is why you tell your mom to stay at home and have her watch the game on TV. But if she does insist on coming to the game, have her bring a helmet. So it's Mother's Day, and Bob Feller's mom came to the park to watch Bob pitch. Not sure where her seats were, but this is why you need to be careful where you sit your mom at a ball game, because the last thing you want to have happen is for your mom to take a foul ball in the face. And that's what happened. Mrs. Feller got hit square in the face by a foul ball, breaking her glasses. So maybe a helmet wouldn't have helped. A catcher's mask would have worked. That'd be a great sight, Mrs. Feller sitting in the stands wearing a catcher's mask. That'd be funny nowadays, let alone a prim and proper mom wearing a dress and a hat back in the 40s. But seriously now, Stan Musial said Bob Feller was probably the best pitcher of the era. And Ted Williams said this about Bob Feller: "He was the fastest and the best pitcher I ever saw, and I would start to worry 3 days before I played him." Now that's high praise coming from one of the greatest hitters in baseball history, who was a highly decorated war hero and fought in 2 wars.